Hello, buddies. Taiga is here. The Tri Squad that might not be so Tri Squad this set. But we finally have a triple R that leaves us with 3 left. So this card is Trish Tri Squad, which means you can level it over any Tri Squad. Unfortunately, we've only seen Taiga so far. And then as a triple, when this character enters play, you can draw 1 card for each different character name amongst your Ultra Heroes. And then when you draw, for every different character name amongst your opponent's heroes, you discard 1 card from hand. So if we think Tri Squad, it's probably going to be 3 for you. And then maybe there's a lot of like dual Ultra decks, so it'll probably end up being plus draw 3, minus discard 2 on average-ish. And like the stats are okay. So any thoughts on this first before I go?
Well, draw 3, discard 2 is not the worst. It's like a super muscle draw.
Yeah.
Still 17k. It's going to be interesting because it's also really weak against kaijus. Like it might be a draw 2, discard 3, so you just don't use the effect.
Yeah.
But it's weird because the Tri Squad, it is 3 characters down the road maybe, but it's still, if you just pretended that they were just 1 character,
Mhm.
I mean, it reminds me of like just a mono orb deck where you'd be playing a card that's like a draw 2 plus 1,000. So until we see the other Tri Squad abilities, it's harder to say like how this all fits together. Because like
Yeah.
we'll probably look at the scene soon. I like you said, we're probably expecting a Tri Squad. If you think of it as a 2 character deck, really like a 4 character name deck. It's not going to be
Mhm.
perfect to get like all 4 names out at the same time, but you would still, like your biggest plays could be you draw 4, and then you
Mhm.
discard 2. And
Yeah,
if you
that's like a
pair that
real
with the right
real
deck,
move, I think.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and I kinda agree with you. It feels like for better or for worse, 17K to just draw cards is not, um, not the kind of power level you need to compete with the current decks. Like, Orb is like, I'm glad you brought up Orb. It's like the
yeah,
perfect case example, right? Like, this deck draw 2, and it basically did nothing until it got its, like, second wave of support, and even then, it was a little iffy about, like, whether it was actually good or not. And then even now, it's still struggling a little bit. Like, the draw 2 just isn't enough, and if this card's not gonna be, like, adding 2 cards to your hand, you get a lot more, like, you get to see more cards, which is good,
yeah.
and, like, get your hand in the right spot, but if you don't have, like, the power to back it up, then it just doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to seeing this deck. Like, is there like a pairing that really makes everything come together? One example, maybe you get like a Taiga Z where you get those extra cards and you can discard
Mhm.
stuff so you can use it right away. And Z has some effects that you actually want to exile Z's from discard. So drawing,
Right.
discarding could maybe funnel something interesting. Mebius maybe makes a comeback here where you have like a lighter Mebius support. You discard some
Right.
stuff, set anything you want, and then Mebius actually can always use extra cards in hand because you discard those for
Mhm.
DP grade up. So
Yeah.
maybe there's a
Yeah.
pairing you can make with this, but it alone, like you said, the draw, like or Mebius was never really a thing, even
No,
being
no.
able to draw still. So
So one thing that I think is really funny that you made me think of is that a lot of people that like have there's been a lot of chatter, right? That it's the Mebius, it's the Zeton killer deck because it will work kind of like a mono deck, but then it will have multiple character names, and so it won't be like weak to Zeton. Ironically, this effect is great for trying to dig through your deck to get Zetons. So
yeah.
maybe it's the Zeton killer, Zeton player, the death of the mono decks because you can because like yeah like if you had Zeton and you put down the Zeton and then you like drew 4 and discarded 2 like you're much more likely to like get into more Zetons than other
Yeah.
decks might. So
Yeah,
it's just food
that's an
for thought.
interesting point. I hadn't thought about that. Whether it's Septon or if there's any other like single card.
Oh, no, no, you don't get to try it. You don't get to draw for Zeton because
Oh
it's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
heroes. Yeah,
Uh,
but
that part's right, but it the point still stands. You can use this to draw into those like key
mhm,
game winner cards. Like whether today it's Zeton, maybe tomorrow there's some other card. If Tiga's going crazy, you draw into your Curioloids
mm,
faster, and then you can play those.
yeah. All right, let's move on to the next Taiga card, which is more just kind of consistency. It seems like the Tri Squad deck is all going to be about consistency. The level 2. Why don't you read it for us?
Yeah, so this is another level 2 Taiga with the Tri Squad label, so you can level up with the other Tri Squads. So this is when the character enters plays a double, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck to put one Ultra Hero with the Tri Squad effect from among them into your hand, and then send the rest to your discard area. When you, or sorry, and then you have to discard a card from your hand
Mm,
with that effect when you get this. So it's very similar to some of those like deckers we've seen or arcs as like reveal 3, take a speed or armor type. This one you
mhm.
can take another tri squad type. Um, so you might be able to dig into that really strong, not yet revealed tri squad Titus Fuma Triple R maybe one day.
Yeah. The card that this reminds me the most of is the Juggler,
Hmm.
but I think this has a huge advantage over all these other cards that are kind of like this because it needs to be a double, but because it's Tri Squad, theoretically, you'll have a lot more ways to play this. And then it also theoretically should be able to grab like so many more cards. Like even with just Taiga, it can grab any Taiga that you see,
Yeah.
whether it's level ones or level threes or whatnot. So that's pretty exciting. But yeah, other than consistency, I don't know that there's much more to say for this one.
I really like that it is less limited because I was comparing this
Mhm.
to the arc level twos. There's like you can get a speed or armed, or maybe it was power
Yeah.
armed off of a double, and you still have to discard a card. But I feel like it's starting to shape up with to look like what reminds me of like the BP2, BP3 era mono arc decks where you had the
Yeah.
Galaxy Armor. So you play your Galaxy Armor arc, you play your level 2 to try and find that piece you need to really take things off. And this actually has the fewest restrictions because it's not like it has to be a power or arm. It's any tri squad.
Yeah.
So you'll have a lot of cards to pull from if you're using a mono tri squad deck.
Definitely. All right. Our next one is a level 3 Taiga, also Tri Squad. And this one is a double activate once per turn. No cost. If you have 3 or more Ultras with different character names, give this character a BP grade increase for this term. So very reminiscent of the orb one that lets you be at a BP grade up if you send a card to the bottom, or the new Omega one that's like if you have 3 other Medio Kaiju names, which is crazy. That one's not possible to use. But this is much more doable, and you like kind of expect to be able to like use this on turn 3
Yep.
when you might want to be fighting for lead. So it's kind of a perfect there.
I actually think this is the Tiger card I'm most excited about so far of the ones
Yeah.
we've seen. It I think having no cost activates are always really interesting to me. This
Hmm.
could have been just a continuous effect, like the Ginga Triple R.
Yeah.
By it being an activate, though, you have some built-in protection against stuff like BP03 Zeton.
Hmm.
You're not forced into a BP grade up, which could punish you in other ways. Unlike a Ginga Triple R, that's an instant loss. I guess the only situation where I feel like this kind of backfires is if you're playing against an if, which you activated something so you lose. But
Yeah.
assuming we're not seeing a lot of ifs around, 16k
Mhm.
double, pretty respectable, not too difficult to hit. I think for turn 3 is actually kind of tricky because if Taiga's your really good triple, then you're
Mhm.
going to want to play that in lane 1. So then this and it might be a better lane 4 kind of move. But I don't know,
Yeah,
16k lane.
I think it will depend a lot on the scenes, which we'll get to, there's a scene next. But, like, the scenes and, um, just generally how the game is going or, like, what your matchups are because you might, build the 3 ultras and then be like, "Oh, well, I know this 16 is gonna help me survive this turn."
Mhm.
And then if you're, like, going for a crazy build or maybe you don't well, you have to have the 3 for this one. But, maybe if you're going
Yeah.
maybe you wanna get seen that way, you can be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna draw this turn. I'm gonna go for getting the lead." And then if you're playing, like, a crazy version where you do, like, the tri-squad plus another buddy, then you might set up your 4th character the next turn and then hit, like, an insane taiga that you've been kind of setting up. So
It's also pretty interesting, based on the matchup, you might be able to play this safely as a double,
mhm.
and, you leave lane 2 and lane 1 as doubles, like a double Fuma and a level 2 Titus, and then you can
Yeah.
always, like you said, play your level 3 later after you've secured, turn 3.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You've secured the turn 3 win, then you can, like, replay whatever one you cover up for the triple and start drawing cards. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of room for this, but, you have to, like, play it a little bit smart. Like, you
Um
can't just, like, throw it all out there.
Quick question. I feel like now that we talked about this, the closest card this is starting to remind me of is the Zero deck that we had in BP5 that you played a lot more of, where you have power and speed and basic, and you're trying to
Oh, yeah.
juggle the types to get the most effect and value. How consistently do you feel like you're able to get all the types you wanted on the field?
I think it was I felt most of the time it was okay,
Mhm,
but it was because of how I, like, ended up building the deck,
mhm,
which focuses a lot on the 0 that gives anything power type.
mhm.
That helps you, like, cover the power type or, like, just putting in a power type 0 that, like, has no other use but to be a power type, because sometimes I was like, I really needed a power type in this spot or in this zone because I didn't want to I didn't wanna commit my whole, like, combo play, but I needed to, like, survive, and then if that card wasn't a power type later, then it just kinda ruined everything. Um, I think that Taiga's gonna have a lot more issues with that
Yeah.
because it's not like you can have um, a card that says, "Oh, well, now this card is Fuma," right?
Mhm.
You don't get to swap those as easily or add types or subtract types, and that was, like, what let me kind of finagle the 0 deck a little bit better. So I'm curious what we'll see, and, like, obviously, we haven't seen any Titus or Fuma, and we don't know if there's space for them in the
Yeah.
card list, which is
Well,
another
we're gonna come back to this in a few sets because maybe there's gonna be so many interesting things you could do. Like, okay, my level ones are all gonna be Titus. Like Titus will be the level
yeah,
one play, and then your
yeah,
level twos will be like your Fumas, and Tigers will be your
mhm,
level threes, and you kind of like stack your vanillas such that you maximize your
yeah,
setup. It's I feel like there's a lot of possibilities, but unfortunately, yeah, we haven't seen the actual cards to
yeah,
like
we
this
need a
could be
little bit
either
more.
really great or
Well
disappointment.
let's go into our last, Tiger card for today then, which is the scene Buddy Go. So tell us about this scene.
Yeah, so we have Buddy Go. When this scene enters play, if you have a Taiga, you may give one of your Ultra Heroes plus 1000 BP for the turn for each Ultra Hero you have with a different character name. So I feel like we have a lot of round one scenes that give plus 1000 or
Mhm.
was the victory one a plus 2000 on play or
Yeah,
plus
there's
1000?
been a lot of, like, plus 2000s now,
Mhm.
which are like Dyna, give your Dyna plus 2000, give your Victory or Gingo plus 2000. We've
Yeah.
never seen one that could be, like, plus 3000 and above,
Mhm.
which is pretty crazy.
I mean, Arc could be really fun with this if you're playing,
Mhm.
Arc support to the Tri Squad. Even if you're playing, like, a more
That
aggressive build,
that's
like, you could
crazy.
bump up lane 1. Like, this might be a good way to fix your 17K Taiga where,
Yeah,
if you play this, you have 2 or 3 characters, now it's 19K, which is going to be able to survive a lot better, turn 3.
yeah, I think this is one of those ones where, like, if you can play into getting the lead on turn 2, and then you can play this one plus your Taiga, you're feeling pretty safe, and you get to get all your card draw, and that should hopefully, like, kinda let you bridge into whatever else the deck is gonna do,
Mhm.
but even then, like, right now, I think we still need a little bit more out of this
Yeah.
archetype. Okay, but this card is definitely something to watch out for, like, I yeah, if you can play the 3 amigos and then play an arc to get rid of the opponent's scene, and then give plus 4,000. 4,000 is huge.
Actually, yeah. What arc level twos are? Is that 11K? Or sorry, arc level three double is that 11K?
It would be 11K, but
Yeah, so now
you
you have
could
a 15K new lane.
there, or like you can just straight up beat a level 4 quad because your 17K would go to 21. Like 4K is a huge number, a huge
Yeah.
number. All right, let's move on to Ultraman Max. I think this is like actually where I'm more excited this week.
Yes.
The Max cards are pretty crazy. This one is the Decker and now Tiga Classic. You can swap it left or right when it's played as a double. This card is like absolutely insane with the Max scene because now you can just start like swapping your field around however you want. I haven't like fully processed the possibilities, but you can just go absolutely crazy now.
I think this is really going to get interesting once we see more max level threes in the
Yeah.
future, where you can basically swap thing. You can swap things from lane 4 back into lane 3 or 3 into 4. This is where the spike you get from the max triple R is at. You could
Mhm.
swap out of like weird Zeton matchups or maybe some kaijus that mess with your types.
Mhm.
Camarera could just like swap your characters and you play this, you swap them back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be crazy. This card, I was like, oh my goodness. And you mentioned max level threes. Let's just move on to it. There is a new max level three as well. Double or triple. When this character enters play, you can give one of your single or double ultra heroes with printed double BP of 1,000, 11,000, a BP grade increase for one for this turn. It itself has the 11,000. It's a 17K triple. Oh, like
You
go.
know what I
This
just
card's
noticed? I think I might have missed this when this card was first revealed. I used to compare this a lot with the G starter deck G, like
Uh-huh.
a double that could bump itself up to 17K, which is really
Yeah.
strong in the G decks. Um, Somehow I thought this was a single double activate. I just realized this is a
No,
double
it's cool.
triple activate. So you could actually play this as a triple, and you still bump up your other lane, which is probably the weakest point of the G triple R.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The fact that it's triple is really strong because, I mean, we just saw this one. So you can use this to kind of like set up a lane for the putting on the triple, then you play as a triple, and then you give something a BP grade increase, and then use the scene, and you bounce it back, and then you put it back in, and then you BP grade up itself, and it's 19, and
If you go back, you can also bump the swap into a 14K. So
yeah, and
you
you
could
can bump the
swap
swap
it
another 14.
into 14K. You're definitely gonna get leads somewhere. Like it's crazy.
This deck just got like absolutely insane, and I'm all for it. I'm really this easily shot up into like probably the deck that I'm most excited to try out because I think that there's a lot of like, things that you can do with this deck now, which
Mhm.
I was already kind of like a little bit on the max train, but now it's like there's just so many like crazy plays I think you can set up.
You want to know another one? You can go straight to a 17K single Ginga off of it with this.
Hmm.
You play
Well,
a
the
Ginga.
max
That
triple R is also at 11, so you can go to a
oh yeah.
19K lane one. You just put one card there, and they gotta respect that it could be 19 whenever you want it to. But yeah, and the Ginga too, you play a single Ginga, and then surprise, it's 18. Oh my goodness.
This is gonna be a fun set. I think this I had a lot of hope for Taiga, but I think all my interest right now is on these new max cards.
Yeah. And my number one cope is that the old X triple rare is a 11K. So and
Yeah, it
he
is.
the X triple new X triple rare level 2 brings 11Ks back to your hand from discard. So maybe maybe there's a max X going on somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. Did we get any other max? We got the scene. The scene is not that exciting.
Yeah.
It just lets you give the Batmax opponent power and speed type. I don't know. It doesn't really excite me.
I mean,
It's
yeah, if
what it
there's
is.
like enough BP grade ups,
Mhm.
it could
But
be
the thing
useful,
is, it
but
doesn't have any effects like that right now.
not yet. That's the hope. If you give it like
Yeah.
anti. Also, there is the one that gets an additional minus
And it
1,000 against speed types, and if you give it a 7, 13, 16K BP grade up against power types, be
yeah,
kind of a nice cheeky way to you play this. You level up your 2 to that anti power type, and you
yeah.
win lane 3. 19K, some kind of 16K in lane 2, and then that
Mhm.
new 17K in lane 3.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can see it, but, I don't know.
Yeah.
Of the cards we've seen, pretty unexciting, and similarly is Alien Strand, which is when this character enters play. If your battle opponent is speed, you just discard 5 from the top of your deck, which is great if you're playing 5 king, kinda useless if you're doing anything else. Oh, great if you're playing Hikari, I guess. Alien Strand, Hikari. It is an alien type, which is
Yes.
relevant for the Mephiles deck. So maybe you just kind of want to like you can play it in
Oh yeah.
Mephiles, and then you see the speed type, you swap it in, you discard, you set up 5 king, you get all the aliens in your discard for the guts, and then you start like pumping out 15, 17Ks, willing
It's
aliens.
not the worst thing. I mean, it's a solid 10K single.
Yeah, yeah,
You could, like you
it's
said,
workable.
swap with Mephiles. It's something you could throw in a couple and just set up 5 king.
Yeah, we're definitely workable. And that's it for this week. The Taiga week, which is secretly the max week. I'm really excited for Taiga. I really want to see the Tri Squad, like actually Tri Squad,
Yeah.
but like Supro keeps doing this thing where they're like, "Oh, here's this cool new mechanic," and it's like totally useless. Like Charge definitely is a little underwhelming for me.
Well, I feel like I don't have as much of like a high hopes for Taiga this set, but Taiga
Yeah.
is going to be the character I'm going to keep an eye on.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna like BP8 will be the buddy support deck, and you're gonna get Fuma and Titus and Mora Ghouls, and you're gonna get all the support
Uh,
characters, and then it's gonna be really crazy.
yeah, that Taiga is going to be one to come back to. I'm excited to see it when it's at full power.
Yeah.
Just a little feeling a little rough right now. Maybe you could do like a Taiga Ginga Max or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
It's gonna be some fun
It is
stuff.
an 11K,
Yeah.
so we'll see. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see y'all in the next one for 3 more triple rares. What are
Yes.
your predictions on the triple rares?
Uh, let's see. Trigger Dark is probably one. Who else were we talking about? Probably, definitely. There's a level 2 triple R coming still. My hope is Gaia, but I think we were talking earlier, probably gonna be something like Trigger. Um, and who else is in this set? Are we missing someone?
Nexus.
Nexus. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, that you basically said my predictions. It's just Nexus, Nexus will get one, Trigger Dark will get one, and the last like level 2 slot will go to Trigger, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Bye.
All right. Let us know in the comments what cards you're looking forward to, and one day we'll get a full Tri Squad deck going.
Please, sooner rather than later, hopefully.